My name's Gemma Thomas. I was born in Romford in Essex. I live in Surrey now with my husband and 2 children. I left school at 16. I went on to do some A-levels, but I didn't do very well. So I travelled around for about a year, and then I got a job as a receptionist in an advertising agency. And then when I was 30, I had my son Jude, which was amazing, but also came with some challenges. I felt quite low afterwards. I couldn't quite connect with how I felt. It was, I suppose, a little bit of a loss of identity, and I felt lost. So I started running, and I felt that was the only release that helped me. So it was fitness, it was running, it was the endorphins, and that was what really helped me out. So I realised then the power of exercise in connection with your mental health. So I started to retrain with the YMCA. Evenings and weekends, became level 3 qualified personal trainer. So kind of spread that message a little bit more. So exercise wasn't connected with the body as much as it is with the mind. The day that I qualified, I found out I was pregnant with Buddy. Obviously great news, world changed again. I did have those low feelings again after I had Buddy. I knew my tools then, so I used exercise yet again to help me. It was after Buddy that I started my Instagram page to talk more about exercise and its benefits. It was called Mama's Health Hub, and I wanted to just get across how simple, quick movements could help change your kind of state of mind in the morning. It was mainly that I'd wake up in the morning feeling quite foggy, a little bit rubbish, so I'd do maybe 25 star jumps. It sounds really simple when I say it, but it really did help. So I used those little small moves, so it would be star jumps or lunges or small little exercise moves, and I turned them into a pack of exercise cards. So other mums started to purchase them and started to use them when they had literally a few minutes, 5 minutes. They would take a couple of cards out of the pack. They would start doing some exercises, and they became quite popular. They all sold out, which was amazing. A lot of mums then came to me with their stories of how they also felt quite low and were suffering with postnatal depression, and how movement was helping them, how exercise was helping them in whatever form. So then I moved on to do something called Got5 Live online. So it was 5 minutes of exercise live every morning, 5 moves, 5 minutes, nothing more. Just a kind of pulse raiser, just to get people going. So I changed my Instagram account from Mama's Health Hub to Gemma's Health Hub to, I suppose, broaden the message rather than just mums, because I just believe the message that the power of exercise is really, really hugely underestimated. I've got a private group that people can subscribe to called The Hub, which is a longer workout program. So it's 3 mornings a week. They can do it live with me. Sort of from growing my Instagram account, brands have been in touch to talk about how to promote their product to my audience, and I always am quite specific about who I would work with. So when people talk about influencer, it kind of makes me feel a bit cringe for some reason. I think it's a term that needs to come with something. So what are you influencing? How are you helping? And it should be attached to some sort of purpose rather than to purchase things. I think my issue is like, what are you influencing that person to do? If it's something positive, then great. I think it's not too bad a word, but I think at the moment it's got a little bit of a reputation. So like, I'm an influencer, like what does that actually mean? That anyone trying to have a presence online or trying to do things online always have a purpose or a reason. Understand, I think that people are there watching you, know that that's an actual person, maybe going to take away from what you're saying. So think about what message you're giving them. Is it positive? Do you have the power to make someone go and purchase something? Is that, what are they going to purchase? Think about that. The brands that you're working with, that's important to me. Just knowing what message you're giving off to people. So I did a post about my acne, which generally I cover up. I didn't really talk about it a lot, I think, until maybe a year or so ago, when it really flared up. I couldn't cover it up. It was just very, very bad cystic acne, and I've had it for years and years, since I was in my teens. But I decided to talk about it, not cover it up, showcase it, if you will, and the outpouring of like, I suffered too, or thank you for sharing, was amazing. And I feel like that's honesty and openness around something so vulnerable as your face and your skin is something that's helpful, and it helped me as well, so I didn't feel so vulnerable. I didn't feel like covering up all the time, because I didn't see the need. It wasn't a connection to my personality, it was just a condition that I was suffering with, that lots of people suffer with. And yeah, everyone was just so lovely, and like, I got so many DMs about people that suffer, that get up early before their husband, maybe just to put makeup on. And I've done that in the past, and it's not fun to feel like that. I think some of the challenges I experience are finding content continually. So people are used to new content every day. They're used to something new. So you have to kind of live a little bit online. And some days when maybe you don't feel amazing, so still sort of suffer with those ups and downs. You don't potentially want to showcase everything, but you also want to keep spreading your message and keep putting out good content. So I think that is sometimes a little bit of a challenge, is coming up with new content and adding value to the people that follow you and making them feel good, and knowing that your content is doing that. So yeah, I think that's something that I often have to think about. Because I do live workouts, I kind of have to keep going with it, but I do switch off sometimes. So when I went on holiday last year, I had sort of 5:30 a.m. wake ups, 3 in the morning, to host the exercise classes online. But the rest of the time I kind of switched off and ate and drank what I wanted. So yeah, it was all about balance, because that's what I advocate, is not just going hard with an exercise program or cutting out everything. It's just incorporating exercise into your life, into your day, which you can do on holiday, you can do in your normal everyday life. I think the highlights have always been testimonials of women that say that I've brought exercise back into their life in a natural way, without them feeling like they're failing. Because I think a lot of people start programs or 12-week body transformations, and they're very actually quite difficult programs, and when you get 2 or 3 weeks in, the momentum goes, and then you're like, oh, I'm not going to do that anymore. But with what I do, it's called the Hub. So I don't say that you're going to get this body at the end of it. I say, look, it's exercise, it's for your life, we can fit it in. So it's not like you're feeling like, there's no feeling of failure. It's always a feeling of success, because you've done your workout for the day, you've collected those endorphins, you can use them, and you're going to feel good. I have testimonials from women that have sent me messages saying that their health advisor had signed them off to because they were being visited because they weren't feeling well mentally. She started incorporating exercise into her day, and then I think a couple of months later she was kind of signed back off to, as you know, feeling well again. And that was, she put a lot of that down to the exercise. And I get messages saying that the women that are doing the exercise just feel so much more confident, so much better in themselves. And it's a really lovely feeling, I think, to know that there are people out there exercising with you, we're doing it live, and they're feeling the benefits as well. It's really nice. So the Hub, I think what's unique about the Hub is that it's live. I'm there 6:30 a.m. You'll always get a new exercise routine. So for instance, this morning we did something that people that have been in the Hub for nearly a year have never done, and they will never do again. So they will always have I write a new one every time, which is sometimes a bit of a challenge, but it's so you don't get bored. So you don't come to your class thinking, oh God, I know what I'm going to get. You just don't know what you're going to get. There is a structure to it. So Mondays, legs, Wednesdays, arms, Fridays, cardio. But other than that, you don't know what you're going to get. I think that part of the success of Jemma's Health Hub and the Hub itself is that it's not filtered. We have people in there not worried about what they look like. We put sweaty selfies up in the Facebook group. No one is retouching anything. Everybody is natural. It's all mums at home, washing in the background, the kids climbing all over them, exercising together and just feeling good and positive. And I think that's where success will always come from, authenticity. You can't fake if you kind of try and fake it and do the perfect gym selfies, that's just, I don't think, going to make people that can't get to the gym feel good, or people that have no sort of access to regular exercise feel that great. So I try and make exercise accessible. The advice I would give to my 16-year-old self would be to believe more in yourself, not think I was quite negative about myself when I was younger. I kind of had a negative narrative going on in my head, and I just would try and just not worry so much. I was a worrier, worried all the time about things, and everything always turns out all right in the end. I have ambitions for the future. Yeah, I'd like to write a book. I think that's a lot of people's goal, isn't it? Like an aim to put something down on paper. I often think about putting together kind of workout plan or some sort of kind of nutrition plan for mums or anybody really. And I would like to just expand what I'm doing online. I think get the message across a bit more. Keep working out in the hub, keep bringing people in, because it's really, it's working out for me at the moment, and I feel like I've got a really nice work-life balance with the kids. I'm able to kind of take the kids to school after I've done the workout live with the people in the hub, and then I can pick them up, and it's at this stage in my life I feel like it's the right thing. It feels like everything's slotting into place.